Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to another video. Today, the main topic is gonna be learning how to catch fish during the winter. I know a lot of folks will fish during spring, summer, fall, but once the winter hits, some people will just completely stop fishing. They almost consider it an off season. But in fact, the winter is by far my favorite time to fish personally. During the summer, when the fish are sitting on grass flats, inlets, the fish are a lot more spread out during the spring, summer, and fall, so it's a lot easier for the everyday fisherman to catch them. During the winter time, the fish's number one concern is staying warm. So they're gonna find an area maybe with muddy bottom, maybe it's protected from the wind, or maybe it's just a random pothole in the middle of nowhere. The fish, when they're there, they're gonna be stacked up together, trying to stay warm, trying to get as much food as possible. And just to show you guys, I'm not all talk and that this stuff does work. When I was pulling up to my first spot, I noticed a ridiculous amount of movement and I cast it in there. And first cast, you guys didn't know I had a fish down here. I didn't have the camera on, but first cast, I hooked this slot red right here. Luckily, I did bring ice with me. I am playing for keeps today, but check that out. Right in the corner of the mouth there, I got that 2-inch thumper shrimp. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll try not to get stabbed here. 2-inch thumper shrimp on a light wire jig head. So it's a very finesse presentation. You can work it really slowly and I still see fish up at the spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the camera on my chest and hopefully we can make a day out of it. See, now that it's not in the redfish's mouth, I'll be able to clearly show you guys the lure that I'm using. This is a 2-inch thumper shrimp. It's in an orange color with red flake. And that looks really natural out here, especially as the water's starting to clear up a little more. As I'm pulling up, I'm just gonna turn the trolling motor off. The current is slow enough to where I should be just fine. Oh yeah, look at all those things. Lots of reds in here, lots of them. The sun's starting to come up a little more. This spot's, oh geez. Well, I do have live shrimp. I think I'll just throw one of those, because I can't go in there and get this lure unstuck without scaring every single fish in here. I gotta be really stealthy here as to not spook anything. Give me the biggest shrimp you got. That one's fine. Oh, got something taking it. Got him, got him. Jeez. Another red. Smaller one though, it's a little puppy. I feel like, I swear, every time the camera's off, that's when I catch the big fish. Oh, that's a giant red. Giant, absolute monster. Okay. Get this guy off the hook as quick as I can. There's a giant one over there. I gotta catch him. Oh, okay, thank you. Goodbye, goodbye. Okay. Get a shrimp, get a shrimp. As quick as I can. Dude, that red was a monster. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Dude, that would have been a giant. Got something. Oh, I might have lost it. No, I still got it. Could be a snagged mullet. I won't know until it gets up here. It looks like a red. Yep, that's a little red. All right. Third red of the morning off the same spot. Another little guy. I won't bother measuring him. Let's get him in the boat here. I'll hold him up for you guys. Check that thing out, you guys. He's curling up. He's a little red. You guys see that 2-inch thumper shrimp hanging out of the corner of his mouth there? This time of year, this is by far the best time to be using a lure like that. The shrimp are hatching in the back creeks. They're sort of switching from a fin fish diet to a crustacean diet. And that's exactly why they are so keyed in on these shrimp here. Now, of course, anything twitching in the water could look like a shrimp, could look like a bait fish, but that is the perfect little baby shrimp imitation. And this dude fell for it. This is already an excellent day, and I haven't even gotten to the first spot yet, so I'm gonna let this guy go. See ya. Let's get that lure back in the water and see if I can catch another. But as the mullet school shifts on this little flat here, the redfish will move with them, and hopefully they'll sort of forget that I'm here. Lots of mullet up here. Sometimes it's hard to tell if there's any reds with them, but you won't know till you throw a lure in to find out. I hate to leave this spot because there are fish here. There really are. Like, the fish obviously know that I'm here, but for some reason I was still able to hook a couple without them sort of spooking. I'm pretty sure these fish are officially spooked now, though. They seem like they're not really willing to eat much of anything. Oh, that's a fish. Is that another red? How is that possible? They're still eating. This spot is great, although these reds are small. I guess that's sort of what you get for using a 2-inch lure. But dude, you cannot beat the 2-inch thumper shrimp, especially this time of year. They are just all over it. I've seen some bigger ones, but honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure they're still here. They seem pretty smart, but that's a cute little puppy. I'd call him 12 inches at the absolute most. That is a tiny little guy. Go ahead and let him go, and yeah, see if I can get any more. Ooh, there's a lot of movement back there. Movement means mullet, and mullet means fish. Got one, got one. Yeah, today it's really just been, if you find the mullet, you find the fish. Now, they've all been small, except for that first keeper at the beginning of the day. All right. Red number 5, still not at the first spot yet. Everything has been on that exact same shrimp right there. That is so cool. Wow. Yeah, if you guys notice, you got that false eye there. You actually have 2 false eyes on this side. I'm just absolutely loving not having to work for the fish today. Right when I got out here, I mean, I've only been out here for like maybe a half an hour tops. I have no idea. Time flies when you're slaying them, but it's been really easy to catch fish. And this is why I love fishing during the winter so much. You find one area and they are just piled on top of each other. Like, it's not like during the summer where they're all spread out. And you know, you can cruise a mangrove shoreline and skip underneath, and it's like every, you know, quarter mile you'll catch one fish or something. This is, you just pull up to a spot, cast in. If you don't catch fish in the first like 15 minutes, move to the next spot and keep going and going, because eventually you're gonna run into an area that is just absolutely loaded. Now, they're not fully into their little like wintertime routine yet. Usually they are sitting really deep in potholes trying to stay warm. These ones in particular, they have been showing some signs of trying to stay warm. You know, they're sitting on some muddier bottom, they're sitting in like wind protected areas, but it's not quite like full swing winter time patterns yet, which this is some of my favorite fishing to do right here. Just being able to spot where you see mullet like flipping on the surface, got their tails sticking up out of the water. Cast in there. The mullet are usually gonna spook. I very rarely am able to cast in there and not scare a mullet. But usually the redfish are interested. You'll scare a couple of redfish and there will be one that just takes off after it. And it's almost like every cast. Like, it is just, it's awesome. I love it. I'm gonna go ahead and keep fishing. I'm gonna work this spot a little more, see if there's any more reds hanging around. And hopefully I'll be able to make a decent video. Do I have a fish? I do have a fish. It feels kind of big. Yeah. That almost, oh jeez, that's not good. That kind of looks like a slot. I'll give him a measure. He might be a little small. Oh, it's going under the boat. Under the boat. That's just about the same size as the last one. Yep, they are really following the schools of mullet. I mean, those are the only fish that I've caught, are the ones that have been just following the mullet along. I mean, this guy bit multiple times. I see more reds up there too. There's more where this guy came from. Wow. All right, I'm gonna tighten it up real quick and get him in the boat. Dang, all right. This 2-inch thumper shrimp, this is the lure. If you're fishing during the winter and you want to just go out and catch a bunch of them, this is the lure right here. 2-inch thumper shrimp. This is a 1/4 ounce jig head on a light wire jig head, or on a light wire hook. You can use the normal hooks. There's not really a difference. I just like using the light wire on these clear lures because it doesn't really overpower the lure. You can still sort of see the outline of it. And this dude, man, whew, he fell for it. All right, I can get that measuring tape out. Oh yeah, solid 19.5. That right there is a 19.5-inch redfish. I finally sort of found a pattern for them. They're just following the mullet schools in the shallow water. I'm sure once the tide drops, they're gonna sit in the deeper water, but as of right now, they're in the shallows, wind protected shorelines. I sort of got a plan for myself. I'm gonna stick to it, see if I can get any more. He's following it. Got him, got him, got him. There's another little guy. I was watching him tracking it down. There's so many up here, this is ridiculous. The camera's so close to dying, but I got another. Woo! All right, brought him in a little green, but I'm gonna go ahead and let him go. That's a nice little red. It's got a double spot on one side, single spot on the other. Definitely not a keeper. I'm gonna go ahead and let him go, but it's a solid little fish. Some folks looking at it. Well, I'm glad the jig head still worked, even though it was bent to crap. But yeah, nice little fish. Gonna let him go. I believe that's redfish number 7 or 8 of the day. I haven't had a day like this in a while, and this is exactly why I love fishing during the winter time. When you find them, you find them. All right, you guys, I just retied. I got a new 20-pound tippet on there. The other one frayed off. And I actually switched lures. I opted for a smaller jig head. This is a 1/8 ounce as opposed to a 1/4. This is just your average, your standard hook. This is not the light wire. And instead of the 2-inch thumper shrimp, I went ahead and put on a 2-inch thumper shad. This one's got a little paddle tail on the back, so I won't really need to do any of that twitching action. I'll be able to slow roll this thing over the top of those rocks. So hopefully I won't have I won't run the risk of snagging as often as I have been. Hooked, I got one, got one, got one. Kind of feels like a better one, but that might just be my drag. Oh, that's a better one, all right. Come on, buddy. Yeah. 2-inch thumper shad, baby. Putting in the work. Wow. Woo! It's going under the boat. I gotta loosen up. Trolling motor's off. Oh, wow, that might be the biggest one of the day. Wow. Red number 8. I haven't had a day of catching this many reds in quite a while. Oh, geez. Trolling motor almost just cut the line. All right, buddy. You're good. It's a good thing I wore these waders, otherwise I'd be completely covered in fish slime. Oh yeah. Biggest one of the day. Oh man, that's like 22. Wow. Biggest red of the day. Absolute bruiser. Got that 2-inch lure in his mouth. This is really the time of year, I can't say it enough, that you've got to size down your baits if you want to catch fish. Even live baits. You can't be throwing giant 5-inch shrimp if you want to catch consistent fish. You got to be throwing something little, something 2-3 inches, something small enough to where it doesn't take too much energy to digest, because you know, as the water cools down, it's really difficult for these fish to digest food. So the smaller the lure, absolutely the better. As you guys can see, I mean, I've seen plenty of boats out here, nobody's catching a thing, and then I'm out here throwing these 2-inch lures, absolutely clobbering some nice fish. Got one. Dang, camera was off. Hoping it's a trout. Kind of looks like a trout. Oh yeah, nice trout. All right, well, at least I know my spot. Now this rod is way too much overkill for this, just fishing for trout here. Let's see, I'm gonna get this guy on tape. Trout have to be 15 to 19 inches, and you're allowed 1 over 19. This guy is 15.5-inch trout, so that means he's a keeper. Sweet. Heck yeah, it's been a while since I've caught a trout like that. How nice. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw him in the cooler and see if I can catch another. Well, just caught another. This guy looks small. I'm gonna go ahead and, I'm not even gonna measure him, I don't think. I'll probably hook him right next to the boat. Just gonna stick my finger in his teeth-filled mouth. Awesome. Give him one quick measure. He looks too small. Yeah, he's too small. See ya. That last one took all of about 10 seconds. I'm gonna see if I can do that again. There's a nice deep hole over here. That's the reason they're stacking up so much. Dude, these trout are stacked up in this hole over here. Just hoping he's a keeper. Dang, he looks nice. Woo. He's got some meat on him. Yeah, that's a keeper, all right. Dang, biggest one of the day. It's a good thing I got that medium heavy rod. Oh geez, he's barely hooked. Oh geez, he's barely hooked. Oh wow, gigantic trout. I haven't caught one this big in a while. Well, I haven't caught a trout in a while, period, but this is just crazy. So it's 15 to 19, and you're allowed 1 over 19. That's 17.5 right there. Solid trout. I'll go ahead, get him in the cooler. Dude, they are just stacked up. This one's a tank too. Oh! Dang it. That was the giant I was looking for. That was a giant. Oh, I got another. This might be that giant. That was like a 5 or 6 inch shrimp right there that he inhaled. I'm wondering how big this fish is. So I already have 2 keeper trout in the cooler. Oh, he's not even that big. Look at that guy. Dang, he's got so few spots on him. He's a slot, all right, for sure. All right, y'all, I don't got much time left. I got maybe a half an hour. I got 20% left on my battery, maybe like 5% left on the mic, but check this dude out. It might be hard to see him because the sun's behind me. Oops, pretend that didn't happen. I got this nice trout right here. I'm gonna go ahead and measure him. He is about a 16.5. So 16.5-inch trout, that is keeper. I believe it's a 5 per person bag limit. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw him in the cooler and see if I can max out my limit here. I think the big shrimp might be the ticket here, honestly. These trout are so aggressive. They're sort of passing up the smaller ones. That's a fish. Yep, got one. It is every single cast. What now? Right, yeah, there's a big old hole right here. That's funny. Well, this guy might not be a keeper now that I'm looking at him. I sort of flipped him in the boat a little quickly there, but yeah, you know, he's 15 and a half. He's just over 15, that's a keeper. I'd like to be picky, but honestly, I just gotta fill up the cooler quick. Gotta catch one more before the camera dies. I gotta catch my limit. Got another hooked up. Seems like a little guy. That kind of looks like a keeper. Go ahead and give him a measure. Oh yeah, beauty. Absolute beauty. He is legal, 100%. That's a 16-incher right there. So pop that hook out of his face real quick. Man, he got hooked. He got hooked good. He was going nowhere. Wow, that's gonna be hard to take out. There we go. Let's get him in the cooler and then switch the focus to sheep's head.